gynec or obstetric patients who are coming, they also have to be subjected for COVID testing. Those who are going with the high risk and those who are producing aerosol, mainly procedures like endoscopy, procedures like bronchoscopy, they all have to undergo COVID-19 testing. So what are the tests available? What is the government of India's policy? All of you know, all of us have done the test for that. In fact, in the beginning, if you see, even the municipal corporation, they were not allowing us to do the test. And in fact, the practitioner were banned. Why you have done? Why you have not done? You know, those, if you have done, then they have said that why you have done. And if you have not done, then something is found and something miracle happens, then they would blame the doctor. But over the time, they also realize it is essential that we have to allow the doctors. And as you know that now Dr. Shiv Kumar must be here, that our MMC had taken a brave step that we were allowed to practice even telemedicine also. The Honorable Prime Minister in his speech also said that you can, you know, telephonically advise. Similarly, Medical Council of India also came out with the circular that during this time of lockdown, how you are going to treat the patient if they are not able to come to you. And therefore, we were allowed to even give telemedicine, telephonic, and even video calling as a means of consultation. So we dared to consult the patient during this time. People could not come to us. Now in congested area like Dharavi, people of course know where are they going to go. Some of the zones were containment zones, and finally the decision came from the MMC as well as MCI to allow us to see the patient even on video also, or even by telemedicine. So what are the tests that actually Government of India, if you see the ICMR circular, has said that for all screening, either in containment zone or in the area where there is a high density, you can do the antigen testing, rapid antigen testing. This is a screening test. But in certain cases, you may have to go RT-PCR, you know, antigen detection by RT-PCR. That is the reverse transcript test polymerase chain. All of you know, can you hear me? All of you are able to hear me? Are you able to hear me, Dr. Anil?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're absolutely audible, sir.
Yeah, okay.
And very clear ideas, sir. Absolute clear ideas.
Okay, now you can see here how this is done and what is PCR testing for COVID-19. Test sample is swabbed from the nasopharynx, and then this genetic material, which is used called as a primer, is introduced in this test sample, and you can see here binding of the primer. So you get a fluorescence marker bound to the copies during the PCR and can be detected when amplification occurs. So it is nothing but a amplification of DNA. From RNA, DNA is made, and from there it is amplified, and you can see that the test is positive when there is a viral genetic material. But if there is no viral genetic material in your swab, the test is bound to be negative. So now how many people will get positive, negative, we'll discuss later on. Now, routinely you do the X-ray. As I mentioned here, you can see, what do we see is the lower zones. In the lower zones, there are fan-like shadows. Then you have a, you know, linear shadows. You may not have typical consolidation. This is the typical. This is in fact, my relative who has got these shadows, you know, was sick for almost 7-10 days. There was no fever, cough, cough, cough. But she stayed in an area where there were a lot of cases in the village. So we have to bring her in Mumbai for the treatment. Now, we can see the test that the corporation is doing. We are doing expert assays of the coronavirus, SARS coronavirus 2 positive. No? So after screening test, we have RT-PCR, and we have Gene Expert now, which can get the result within 45 minutes. You can see here, the time that is starting is 11:33, and we have finished at 12:23. So you can get the result very rapidly with Gene Expert method. Okay, you use the gene method for Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Similarly, you can use it for the corona virus or COVID-19 infections also. Okay, so you can do this, but apart
नाखून
from
नहीं
that,
निकलेगा, इसको
to
तो
know
मच्छर
the
ऊपर चढ़
severity
गई है
of
ना,
the
नाखून थोड़ी है उसको,
infections, the lobes
उसके ऊपर चढ़ गया है ना।
involved, you can
कल
also
कोई
do
दवा
the
लिख के
CT
दिया था।
scan and map out how much the involvement. That can help you in management. Then also decision regarding the admissions, etc. So you can
हैं?
have a
तुम करके निकाल दो,
RT-PCR positive,
2 मिनट
negative.
बैठो,
You can do by
टाइम लगेगा।
assay. You can do by the gene expert
बैठो।
method. Now, what is the role of antibodies? That I'm going to speak later
हेलो।
on. Antibodies is not a
नहीं।
diagnostic test. Antibodies are
हाँ।
actually done for serosurveillance, like how
चालू
many
है,
patients
चालू
had
है।
an infection.
Dr. M.A. Khan, sir.
In fact,
Everyone.
this is the slide. This is my
Dr. M.A.
own
Khan, sir, please
actually.
mute everyone.
I did not have any infections. I did not have any symptoms, but just I queued along the people and got my test done, blood test, and this was positive for IgM antibodies. Now I
खान सर स्पीकर को अनम्यूट करो।
खान सर
खान
स्पीकर को छोड़ो, स्पीकर अनम्यूट हो गए। स्पीकर को अनम्यूट करो।
Hello, can you hear me?
Sorry, sir.
Yes,
Sorry,
sir.
sir.
Okay.
Unable to hear about your comment about the antibody. Will you please
Yeah.
repeat, because you are muted. Last two slides, please repeat it, sir.
Okay.
If you don't
Okay.
mind.
Hello, can you hear me, Dr.
Yeah,
Anil?
we are hearing you, sir.
Okay. Okay.
Next, last slide.
Antibody, IgM
Yeah.
is supposed to be early antibodies,
Right, sir.
and IgG is going to be late antibodies. The peak of IgM comes at the end of 7 days. After that, the antibodies decrease in the blood, and after 15 days, they almost disappear, IgM. But after 15 days, then you will start getting IgG antibodies, which is suggestive of the past infection. That we have to keep in mind. But whether these antibodies are reliable, no. What today we are doing are the qualitative antibodies. We are not doing titers, and therefore they may not be of immense importance. The antibodies testing is done for seroprevalence, and you want to take out a plasma from patient and give it to the other, then it is a really useful. Otherwise, it has no value. Now here in this slide, I am telling you what are the sensitivity of different techniques. Like oropharyngeal swab you take, there is a possibility of getting 32% positivity. But if you take nasopharyngeal, start from the nose, go to the pharynx, the sensitivity is very high. Sputum collections, the sensitivity is around 72%. Similarly, if you do BAL studies in the patient who has got bilateral pneumonia, then the sensitivity is very high. Okay. Now, this is regarding serological test. As I mentioned that this is nothing but the serological test are uses the purified SARS coronavirus 2 protein as an antigen, and it measures IgM, which I have said, and IgGs. Positive indicates exposure only, but negative does not rule out the COVID infection. False positive results can also occur due to cross infections. As I said that coronavirus is there since almost centuries, but it was detected actually in 1960. The coronavirus previously was limited to upper respiratory tract. It used to cause nasal congestion, goes up to almost pharynx. Beyond that, sometimes laryngitis would occur. But now this coronavirus is a mutated virus, and therefore it has got a lot of pathology. So it is not recommended by ICMR for diagnosis. This is only for surveillance and epidemiological result, may aid to determine who may qualify to donate the blood. That is useful of plasma donations. Now coming to the treatment part, standard supportive treatment is very important. Like all of us are giving different vitamins, like particularly vitamin C in our undergraduate days we used to give for common cold, if you remember. In my time, I remember before 1984, treatment of the common cold was vitamin C, and that was for 100 BD. Same day today we are giving that. Then we are giving zinc sulfate. Vitamin D is also importance in building the immunity of the person. So these are the different supportive treatment. Support treatment would also involve other treatment, like if the patient is hypoxic, you have to give oxygen. If the patient is not hypoxic at rest, then probably you make him to walk. Give him 6 minutes walk test, and then you will find that there's a drop in saturation. So if a patient enters in your clinic, you have taken the pulse oximeter saturation and you are satisfied, yes, his saturation is 99, 98. But if he walks for a 2 minute or 3 minutes and there is a drop in saturation more than 3%, it means this patient is likely to progress to severe pneumonia or ARDS. So if you predict this early only, then you can avoid the mortality. So always do 3 to 6 minutes walk test in your clinic. That is the minimum that you can do apart from seeing the vital signs. And then of course, immunomodulator, you can treatment give like a hydroxychloroquine. Antiviral treatment is now available, like oral favipiravir is also there, IV remdesivir is also there, lopinavir and ritonavir, which we used in the beginning. Now we are no longer using because now we have oral drugs available. Okay, and then of course anti-inflammatory drugs and convalescent plasma. These are the different treatment modalities. This slide shows you what are the different drugs and how they act. Like for example, we talk always on tocilizumab. It binds to interleukin 6 receptors, prevents IL-6 receptor activation, and inhibits the IL-6 signals. So it stops the inflammation. It stops the cytokine storm. We'll come to that point also. What are the signs of cytokine storms? Okay. Then lopina, ritonavir, how does it act on polypeptides? Okay. Arbidol is there. Comostat, mizelit is there. Chloroquine, hydrochlorine, which we are using, enables the viral entry and endocytosis by multiple mechanism as well as host immunomodulatory effect. SCQ we are giving for rheumatoid arthritis since decades, and therefore this is not a new drug, though we know that it can cause the cardiac effect, but that has to be given in caution in certain patients. So this has demonstrated to inhibit SARS-CoV-2 virus because it is inhibitor of the heme polymerase with antiviral activity by alkylation of the phagocytes, which inhibit the viral replication. So the multiplication of virus is stopped by this. But published reports in NEGM, which was an observational study involving patients with this, hydroxychloroquine administration was not associated with either greatly increased risk of composite and endpoint of intubation or death. So we could not stop actually any progression of this virus into ARDS as well as death. But ICMR has reviewed and retrospective case controls found that there is a significant dose response between the number of prophylactic doses taken and frequency of occurrence of SARS. In fact, few of our doctors mentioned that hydroxychloroquine I have taken and I really am saved till now. But there are few doctors who has taken this SCQ and still they have got the infection. But this is the one of the drug which can be used as a prophylactic drugs, particularly in healthcare workers or those who are carrying the patients who are at home for isolation. Okay. Yeah. The SCQ prophylaxis, as you know that 400 milligram is given on day twice, morning and evening, and thereafter we give 400 milligram weekly for almost 7 weeks. So 8 weeks are given this prophylaxis. Okay. For household contacts, we give it for 3 weeks. Same way, 400 milligram BD on day 1 and then 400 milligram once in a week for next 3 weeks. So total 4 weeks is given, and for healthcare worker we give total 8 weeks. But ICMR has revised its guidelines and it said that those who are in close contact and those who do not have risk like hypertension, ischemic heart disease, or cardiomyopathy, those healthcare workers, which includes doctors also, have to take this until the pandemic is over, until the pandemic is over for once in a week, 400 milligram dose.
We can
Adverse effects, you know that sometimes gastrointestinal upset can occur due to prolongation. In certain patients, those of course, the contraindication of retinopathy, pre-existing retinopathy, G6PD deficiency, and cardiac arrhythmias. So ECG has to be done in patients above the age of 45 years, those who are having hypertension, those who are having undergone stent placement, cardiomyopathy. These people should undergo ECG before undertaking the course of hydroxychloroquine, even as a prophylactic. The drug should not be given in patients who are less than 15 years of age. This we have to keep in mind. Now you know that remdesivir, this was in use for a pretty long time. The drug was sold in black market. What is this remdesivir? It is nothing but a nucleotide analog prodrug that inhibits the viral RNA polymerase. It has gained emergency use in authorization from FDA, and in double-blind placebo trial, it has found that it can shorten time to recovery. It is not the best drug. It is not a Ramban Upai, you know. So this drug has to be given cautiously in deserving patients and should not be misused. This is not the first line drug. Before that, we have drugs like favipiravir, which is an antiviral drug. Of course, convalescent plasma can also be given, and ICMR is conducting the trial also. Various medical colleges, government of Maharashtra is also involved. Some of the case series are there where it is found to be fruitful, but others also said that it may not be very much useful if the patient has progressed to severe pneumonia to ERDS. So this has to be given when the PO2 upon FiO2 ratio is less than more than 200 to 300. So in mild case of ERDS, it may be useful. These are the drugs, investigation drugs. Of course, they have come into practice also. We are giving them also. Of course, they are on the emergency use, of course, and we are giving ivermectin also, which inhibits the viral replication. Apart from that, we have dasatinib, rituximab, ruxolitinib. These are the drugs which were used for the rheumatoid arthritis, psoriasis, now are being used for the purpose of COVID-19 infection. So what is the protocol for management of these patients? The government of India and government of Maharashtra has made guidelines based on the WHO advocacy and advice. They have categorized these patients into mild cases, that is early infection. Further, they have categorized into A, B, C, that is stage 1, stage 2 are the moderate cases where there is a pulmonary involvement, with the lung is involved, but there is no any desaturation, there is no any hypoxia. Stage 2B are the cases where moderate disease has resulted into desaturation, where the drops in saturation is there 94 or below that, it has come to 90 or so. And stage 3 are the severe cases where systemic hyperinflation with cytokine storm is observed. These are categories into group F. Now we'll go turn by turn about the management of such a cases. Stage 1, as I said, that group A patients are asymptomatic patients. These patients were initially isolated. Now the government of India has brought a policy. The patient can self-isolate at home if he has the facility to get isolate. When he can, isolate himself in one single room where others would not enter. Then there are facilities to monitor him. There are facilities to give him proper treatment. And these are the patients in whom we have to do minimum investigations in the form of CBC. CBC is done sometimes to see any leukopenia or whether the count is normal. RFT we have to do to see what we categorizing asymptomatic patient has got any problems in creatinine, liver function test, blood sugars, and ECG monitoring is done. ECG monitoring is done once in a while, on the first time, and you treat these patients with vitamins and vitamin D. These patients really